We have been soulmates, his masters. We have been soulmates in many journeys. And always I get a thought that we have promised each other that we'll be sharing the knowledge in every path with each other. And that is why we come together on different platforms. In the beginning, I would heartfully thank Brahma Rishi Pitama, Dr. Subhash Patri sir, for giving us such a lovely platform and the freedom of speech and the freedom to share your experience. He was the only person I have met who gave the freedom to share our personal experience in the spiritual path. I have been to many masters, I have been to many ashrams, I have given, I'm 56 now, so I've given most of my time in learning process, but never got this freedom. Collected so much of wisdom, whatever was possible, but unless you share it, you won't grow it. And this freedom given by Patri sir, whatever you are learning, whether it is just the beginning of the alphabet A, like he used to say, out of 26 alphabets, if you're learning only A alphabet, please teach A to everyone you come across. That was the lovely message, and I have been following that, masters. So today, I have come here and this platform, using this platform, I'm going to share a little bit of wisdom I'm gathering about yoga. Because recently I have joined MSc Yoga. So I was so much in love with this subject. The yoga we all know. What is yoga? So let us know a little bit deeper, and how its magic works within all of us in all levels. So what is yoga? Yoga initially comes from the word yuj, the Sanskrit word yuj. Yuj means, that's the root word. It means to join, that which joins. So what is it joining? The yoga, what is it joining actually? It's joining the Jivatma, that is the soul level, us, the body, with the Paramatma, with the eternal energy. So this is a method of conjoining with the greater energy, all us smaller energies. So how do we actually join? How do we connect? So this was a research done by Maharishi Patanjali, because this was a practice long before Patanjali. Since the birth of humans, they have been trying to get in connect with the higher self. So they have been doing some practices. So Maharishi Patanjali, what he did, he studied, he researched, and then he compiled few principles and few systems, few features, and named it yoga. He formed these principles in the form of sutras. So what was included in this yoga? It was for all-round development of a personality, of a human, of a person, in all levels. So be it the physical level or the mental level. So he has divided it into 6 different levels. The muscular level, which will be our physical body, which will give us deep relaxation when you practice yoga. Then there is your pranic level. Prana is the energy which is keeping us going. So at the pranic level, when you do yoga, it's going to slow our breath, because prana is related to breath. So it is going to regulate our breath and create a balance. We have not been breathing properly, and that is where our prana is lacking in us. And that leads to all other ailments or imbalance in life. Then the third one will be on the mental level. So when on the mental level, when you're doing yoga, it is going to increase your creativity. and willpower. So, yoga is not limited to a certain age group, it's for every human being, right from the age of 5. And the fifth one will be the emotional level. Yoga is going to affect our emotional level because altogether, finally, we want emotional satisfaction, emotional balance, emotionally, we all want to be happy. So, this yoga will enhance the happiness in our life. And last but not the least, yoga helps in the intellectual level. It sharpens the intellect, it calms our mind. Here we got to know intellect doesn't mean knowledge. Knowledge is acquired around us. A knowledge is just gathering of information, which can be done by reading books or just observing. When we do yoga at the intellectual level, it's going to sharpen our intellect, the wisdom, the unknown, the knowledge of unknown. You get the power to understand that. So, here we got to know that yoga is a process. It doesn't mean I do yoga at one time and then how many days or for 6 months I practice yoga and then I'm done with it. It is a process, continuous process. It is a way of life, a way of living. It's just like you are breathing till the end of your journey. Yoga has to become part of you. So yoga becomes a conscious process of gaining mastery over the mind. So you go from one stage to the another. So when all these stages are completely covered, then a person is said to be in a good state of health. So it can be mentally, physically, intellectually, everything is considered health. Even WHO has put the definition of health as a state of complete physical, mental, social, and they added recently spiritual well being. So, health doesn't just mean absence of diseases, masters. Health is not absence of diseases. You might have seen so many of them who don't have any ailments, but do you call them healthy? Because they won't be healthy from heart or mind, or intellectually, they may not be healthy enough. So in Sanskrit, health has a very wonderful word which doesn't have an equivalent synonym in English. Swasthya. Swasthya means to be in that state, in the state we are born, in the state a human is born. When a human is born, he is born in a state of happiness, peace, and intellectually they are so active. A newborn, we may think a newborn or a toddler is not intellectually smart enough to gather the wisdom. But no, my dear, when a newborn arrives on this planet, he's completely equipped to learn and just look and understand. If you observe, a newborn learns so many things very quickly. He recognizes you and he registers and he can make out whether this person is a family person, his mother or father. Who gave that wisdom to that newborn? It knows when it is hungry, it has to make it known by some noise. So it will either make some voice, it will use its voice or physical body by crying or throwing tantrums. So, who taught that little infant all that? It's all equipped with that wisdom. So, the beginning years of growing up, they are having the highest wisdom possible. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Just lost the. Okay, okay. So here, how it is helping us to travel within or to connect with the magic within, which is always with us when we are born on this planet. For that, we have to come know about our koshas. It is somewhat similar to the levels just now I had mentioned. Why the koshas has to be understood is we are not this body. We are packed with 5 different bodies. Those bodies are called koshas. These koshas are formed with some basic informations. So we start with Annamaya Kosha, this physical body, which is made up of Anna. Anna is the food we take in. So whatever food is given to this body matters a lot. When this body was created, we were just a single cell. The egg and the ovum, in the form of egg and ovum, we are just a single cell. Then after that, when the ovum develops, it is multiplication of that cell. And how does it multiply unless it is given food? That is the energy for the cell to divide and multiply. So the food comes from the parent, the body where it is embedded. So whatever the mother is having as food is sent to these cells to multiply and grow. And so we can say, so just imagine whatever I'm saying, please picturize it and see that whatever food the baby is given, that cell is given, it is going to receive and multiply. So when the small egg, the ovum and the sperm are expanding, developing, it is actually the food taking that form. And when that infant is born, and then the outer world gives the outer world's food, that is whatever food we are giving. So we are that food. Since our birth, whatever food we have taken in has converted into this physical body. So what am I is what I have fed to this body. And we all know the cells keep dying every 100th day, and a new cell is born, and that is how we keep on growing. So this Annamaya Kosha, this physical body with which we are doing so many activities, what is this made up of is so very important. Just like I would give an example, the ornament you wear, is it not important which metal the ornament is made of? Whether it is gold, silver, platinum, plastic, or some unhealthy or uh, I would say poisonous metals, which is very allergic to your skin. So doesn't it matter with what that ornament is made? Similarly, this body is made of the food we are eating. So in yoga, the food matters. So yoga here doesn't mean the physical yoga masters. Please, yoga is not physical yoga. The physical part is just one part of this yoga. So to be in a spiritual path, the food we eat is very, very important, because that makes up this body, and from that body I get the prana. Prana is the energy I have. So it forms into the pranamaya kosha. From the Annamaya Kosha, we go into the Pranamaya Kosha and then into the Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya is your mental body. So your mind is all related to your physical body, and the prana, the energy you have, and then your mental body. And then Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha is the intellect. Can you see that connection here? It is all connected with the physical body, and then comes the highest physical body, the kosha, which will be our Anandamaya kosha. Yoga helps us to elevate from the physical body to the Anandamaya kosha, which leads to the immense happiness and satisfaction and bliss. To reach that state of bliss, is the only thing we all are striving for. Why are you getting educated in a certain path? Whether you're becoming an engineer or a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, because you're getting happiness in that. Why are you learning to sing or dance or any instrument? Because you get happiness in that. Why do you need a family? Because you get happiness in that. Why do you need a companion? Because you get happiness from that. Why do you need a society, a friend circle? Again, for happiness. So the ultimate goal is happiness. And unless all these koshas are cleared, you will not reach that happiness. And that is why we all are running or searching for happiness, because that is the food for the soul. So how do I reach that happiness? First, look at the Annamaya kosha. Patri sir used to say, just observe two things: what goes into this mouth and what comes out of this mouth. I love that quote a lot. What goes in your mouth is what you are feeding this body with. Be mindful of what goes into this mouth. So, masters, the food factor, let us look into it a little more deeply. Here, the food factor will be, in general, on the broader sense, we'll talk about two food items. One will be vegetarian and one will be non-vegetarian. Yes, there is a big percentage of population who are following non-vegetarian food. They're happy about it, and they have a lot of um, points to talk about, because it's going to give you a lot of protein and good health and a good physique. That is how they are trying to prove that non-vegetarian is the food for every human, that this vegetarianism is just a hype. There has been studies done for this, not only on this planet, in any other planet. They don't kill another living being to satisfy or feed self. It is only done on this planet. And that too because of lack of wisdom. So, how harmful it is, let us not talk about it. That will be completely another session. It is good for physical body or not, but certainly not beneficial or supportive for spiritual growth. If you are on the spiritual path, certainly it is going to hamper the growth. Yes, masters. Uh, when I joined PSSM meditation, this was the first rule, that you got to be a vegetarian, and then there was other stuff to be avoided. Let us not go into that. I'll just talk about vegetarianism and non-vegetarianism. I, being a teacher, I wanted to introduce this knowledge to my students, and I wanted a very strong backup. So I always spoke to my masters, because I am very good at talking to them. When I was in Bhakti Marga, also I used to talk to my God, whomever. So I was praying at that time, and I would get answers. I knew when a person asks and the universe gives you replies. So I asked for a proper explanation where I can convincingly tell my students that this is how a non-vegetarian food, or to be precise, even onion and garlics are avoided in spiritual path. So why is it not to be consumed? Because in Ayurveda, I'm also from a family of Ayurveda, and I have uh, a lot of wisdom about onion and garlic, because garlic was my go-to for all diseases from my childhood. Any disease, coconut oil and garlic were like God. But why not as food? Such a simple answer. It is a medicine Whenever required as a medicine, you can go for it. It is not a food. And then I came across a video. I have not come across after that because I wanted to share it with so many of them. I have been mentioning this in many of my classes. I came across a video which was a video saying onion and garlic not given to the fighter plane trainees in US. I was just scrolling and that title like no attracted me. What? Onion garlic US training. I went into the video and there a beautiful explanation, very scientifically explained that what I'll put it very short because we don't have much time, that the chemicals in onion and garlic affect that part of the brain which is very much active when the fighter plane pilots go to that higher level in the atmosphere. They have to travel in a atmosphere where common man, if he goes there, if he travels, even the aeroplanes we travel, the flight we take are a little lower in that atmosphere. If the flight goes a little higher, the atmosphere level is not suitable for humans, and that person may faint or lose consciousness or his complete, he may even lose his life. That is the pressure in that level. But here we see the fighter jet plane pilots, when they are trained, they have to be taught to travel in that atmosphere as well as remain alert so that they can precisely take decisions where uh, to throw that bomb or whatever they are doing. Because they are supposed to be in war when they are in the fighter plane and they are using some techniques where they have to take very quick decisions and precise decisions. So this onion and garlic, whatever the chemical is, I don't remember the name of that chemical, what is present in onion and garlics. That chemical affects that part of the brain which stays active in that atmosphere. So, to be precise, that part of the brain is our pineal gland. The pineal gland, this chemical covers it, and then the pineal gland cannot send its signal or it cannot work. It hinders the creativity or that effect of the pineal gland. So that was the physical part. Now coming to the spiritual part, pineal gland is a gland where when you meditate, it gets it gets uh, it gets I don't know the proper word. I will say it gets like no rubbed, and the polish, it keeps polishing, and then when you keep meditating, the glow, the shine increases, and then the atmosphere around the pineal gland, it becomes like uh, a LED screen, and then you get these 3D visions. So if you are having any visions in your meditation, it is because your pineal gland is completely active and your continuous meditation has given that rub, and then it is shining like a crystal. And we all know when the light falls on the crystal when you're meditating, the light enters your body from the, yeah, same as caffeine stimulation. Oh, thank you. I don't know about how it really affects your pineal gland. So here, this affects it. So it is not in a good way. So if you're into spirituality and you want these visions, and and you want to grow in spiritual path, then avoid garlic and onion and non-vegetarian food. So such videos are really available all over the place. Especially, I would suggest there is a channel called Gaia, Gaia. Yes, all are given with the beautiful pictures and pictorial explanations so that even a small kid can understand. So let us go into deep and get the wisdom with complete clarity. So if I want to change from vegetarian to non-vegetarianism to vegetarianism, if you get a proper feedback and proper knowledge, surely from inside, like any food which is not good for you, when you fall sick and the doctor says this is going to affect your liver and that is why you have to avoid such and such food, you do avoid it. So with wisdom, you get awareness. So ask for wisdom in your meditation. Don't ask for anything else, just wisdom. I am a fan of wisdom. I always ask masters to give me clarity and wisdom and clarity and wisdom. So, how it really helps when you're meditating? I don't know any other method of meditation, because though I have learned many different kinds of meditation, but I was never fascinated and never been a good student of that practice. But after coming here, learning Anapanasati Dhyana, maybe I am a very common person who, when benefited, I got attracted. Yes, I was benefited by Anapanasati Dhyana. I would like to share my experience here. Though I may look very healthy, but I am filled with so many different ailments. And right from the age of 38, I had rheumatic arthritis. So I'm very active person, as Sushma introduced that I am from a military background. My father was in Air Force. So we were taught to be very tough. I was a very tough young lady. And when at 38, I got rheumatic arthritis, it broke me like into pieces, because doctor advised me complete bed rest. Only if I had to cook or do some work, I had to get up. Half an hour was the time limit given to me. After half an hour, again, I had to go and lie down. I did that for 4 5 months and I felt like I'm 80-year-old. And I said to myself, I don't know whether I'm going to live for 80 years, but I don't want this experience now, whether it is pain. So I was trying, limping around for long period. I just dragged myself. And so I couldn't do many things which I had planned to do. And then in 2014-15, when the chikungunya, something new had come, I was the first few patients who got that, and there was no medicine yet in the market. So I was not treated for it. I was on wheelchair. I was on bed for 6 months. 6 months I was on wheelchair. And then I said, no, I was just praying, like, I want to be fit enough to use an Indian toilet, because I was unable to hold my mobile. I was unable to hold a pen. I'm an artist. I draw, I paint. I was unable to hold my brush. I was like, oh my God, this body is so precious. I have to take care of this body. But that was all out of control. There were thoughts of suicide also. Like, I didn't want this life. And that is why I stopped my teaching career and started my own tutorial. My father-in-law used to bring me in the wheelchair into the classroom. I had it in my own place, my residence. So after the classes, he would take me to the bed. So that is how I carried on. I wanted to do something. That fire inside me was always there. And it went for very long period. After that, I started doing a lot of physical exercise. I was able to move around, but I was not strong enough. I couldn't immediately get up from my bed, even if I had milk on the stove and I was in the living area. And if I hear the milk boiling, I couldn't like run from here one step and then go and switch it off. I had to shout for someone else to please, "Arey, go and get the kitchen, switch it off karke." Then let us not go into that in very much in deep, but this much was very important. Let me come to the present. and I learned meditation. Though I'm not a big fan of meditation, and I don't know what happened after I meditated with Brahma Rishi Premnath sir, a, 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 a seed was in me which started sprouting. Just like that, when we were talking with friends, I would feel like close the eyes, go and sit calmly. I would tell my friends, you keep talking. I want to sit for half an hour, 45 minutes, want to close the eyes. I will be back in 45 minutes. And I used to do that. I don't know what started. And then later, I didn't meet him at all. I met him only once. And then I was in search, like, who was that person? I remembered only the Brahma Rishi. Who was that person, Brahma Rishi, who put the seed in me? And then I joined many other classes online. I learned meditation. I had a very good time with meditation. But I wanted to connect to Premnath sir. I wanted to know more in detail. And after a 1 year's wait, finally I got his number and I got connected to him. And the very next week, I went to Pyramid Valley, and I was the happiest person because I was just face to face with Patri sir, and he made me sit beside him. He made me talk. And all these years, whatever was filled in my heart, so much of wisdom, so much of experiences which I wanted to share. And uh, I I don't know. When I meditate, I get many visions. So I was very happy because outside people, they judge when you meditate and you tell, like, I see this, I see that. So I was very not very open with outsiders. I only shared with my mom and husband. So here was a platform where I could share everything. So I was so very happy. I stayed there for a week, volunteered, and came back home. So this all took 10 days time. I came home. Again, I'm on my sofa in the living room enjoying my meditation. Every 5, 10 minutes, I felt like closing my eyes, going into meditation. So I was enjoying that. So again, the scene comes back where there is a milk on the stove and I hear it boiling. And the instinct, the female instinct in me made me run. And I just like that got up and switched it off. Just like 1 or 2 steps, I was in the kitchen. And then it clicked. Arey, what happened? What actually happened just now? How quickly I was able to get up. Where is that pain? Now I got to see my pain. Where is that pain? Where has it gone? It was gone without telling me, saying goodbye to me. And I was so very happy. Then literally I jumped. I checked myself why I'm not getting pain. I was like folding my fingers, holding pen and trying to do this and that, which all I was not able to do. And I started telling everyone. I started my own channel. I started taking classes. Every day I conducted 5 classes online. Even if I didn't have anyone to listen to me, I just faked that I had an audience, and I was just uh, talking about Sir's concept and sharing my experiences and meditating uh, with the channel, I can say. Then I got, I was so very happy, like a small kid. I wanted to do all that what I had like put it back in some old trunk. I wanted to climb mountains. I wanted to ride horses. So what I did, first thing, there is a place called Tirupati. If you are an Indian, every Indian knows about it. I had always fascinated climbing that mountain. I said, I am going to climb Tirupati mountain. Now I am able to walk. I don't have any pain. I want to go. But nobody accompanied me. I said, I'm going alone. So, masters, you cannot imagine how happy I was. It is like 3,500 steps to walk the hill and then again to that place. It's a very huge place. So, we have to walk a lot without a single step hurting me. I was able to walk. And though I was climbing Tirumala, instead of saying Balaji's name, I was saying, thank you, Patriji, thank you, Patriji, thank you, Patriji, with each step that I was climbing. Even today, I get tears in my eyes when I say this. Because this meditation, it has magic. That is why when I introduce meditation, I keep telling people, please don't ask for explanations, have experience. Each one is going to get different experience. What you're waiting for, the universe knows. I cannot tell, like, you do meditation, so you will be rid of so and so ailment or trouble you are having. And luckily, by birth, I was a vegetarian, so I didn't have this issue of non-vegetarianism. And always I was a little reluctant to have onion and garlic. I don't know why. And that also helped me. So later on, every month I have gone to that Tirupati hill. I have climbed for 5 continuous months. And then the fire in me was, okay, next what? What else can I do? Then there is again Ramana Maharishi, which is a huge mountain. We have to do a pradakshana that is going around the hill, which is 14 kilometers in one go, barefoot. All these years, I couldn't I couldn't take one step without a slipper on, with the doctor's ortho slipper on. And here I was walking around the mountain. It took me 7 hours. I didn't mind that because I was so happy. It was raining and I enjoyed myself. I wanted that life. And again, I went every month on every Purnima. And then next what? Next what? What else can I do physically? I became so active. I started traveling. I went to Char Dham Ki Yatra, which is, you all know, in the Himalayas. So I went there. We did trekking there. Yes, once in a while I do get that pain back because the energy levels, that is the explanation I have got from some senior masters, that the energy we get, if it is given away, sometimes you are low in that energy and so you may have some pain once in a while. So the masters will guide you whether you have to give away your energy or store your energy for your physical body. But this physical body is not for self. We have taken the physical form on this planet to do service, not to a mankind, but to the whole of this planet. Again, that is not a limitation to whole of the creation. Not only this planet, the other planets are waiting for us. So, masters, to know about self and rising higher and going into the Anandamaya Kosha, after completing your Annamaya Kosha, then a Pranamaya Kosha. So Annamaya Kosha will be the food factor, and the Pranamaya Kosha will be your yoga. Yoga starts from there, the breathing exercises, prana. We have such a huge lung capacity, but you will be shocked to know that we don't even use 30% of our lung capacity. 70% is just lying there dead. It's the air balloons inside. I will give the simple words, like there are so many balloons where the air gets filled in our lungs. They have not even opened since we are born because the air has not reached that level. The prana is not gone to that level. So unless the prana is filled to the fullest of its capacity, how can it reach the other cells of the body? So our body is not having enough prana to experience the other factors. So to coming into spirituality means, first, this car, this vehicle which we are using has to be in the perfect condition. So the physical body and then the prana level. Prana is your fuel tank. So if the fuel is contaminated, or if it is of not good quality, or if it is not filled to the brim, only 5% and 10% of fuel, how can your vehicle work on its optimum? So the prana is your fuel tank. So expand it, enhance your capacity. Then the manomaya. Then you get automatically, you don't have to worry about, I should think this, I should not think this. When the physical body and the prana levels are at its optimum, you will get good thought. Healthy body gives you healthy thoughts. Unhealthy body gives you unhealthy thoughts. So Manamaya Kosha is taken care of. And then comes the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnana is your intellect. Obviously, when you are in your right state, you will be getting the intellectual connections. Earlier, there were no colleges and schools and institutions to give you wisdom. Do you think they were not intelligent enough? Only the generation which are going to universities are intelligent? Sorry, my friends. Again, I have an explanation to, I can tell you that we are not at all intelligent. The schooling methods are so inadequate to give us that wisdom. I had been to Bihar. Bihar is a state in India, in the northern part, northeastern. It is the place of birth of Gautama Buddha. And I had a fascination for Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya since childhood. So when I got to do some meditation camps there, I went for 100 days and traveled in 14 districts alone in a car with a driver. In the peak of summer, again, I had spondylosis, I had slip disc when I was in my place in Bangalore. But when I went there for 100 days, I didn't have any pain, even 1% of pain, not even after traveling in the dust and in the heat. I used to get headaches. Usually people get headache when the climate is not good. Believe me, I didn't get headache a single day. I didn't fall sick a single day. And I'm changing water so many different places, different water, different food habits. Nothing. That is the kind of energy you connect when you are this connect yuj yoga. Yoga doesn't mean the physical exercise and asanas. Yoga means from the body to your prana, from there to your mind and intellect and the spiritual happiness. I was in the happy state. I have so much to share from my personal experiences that I can just go on and go on and on. But now I'm talking about Nalanda because about education and wisdom. When I'm talking about that, I want to cite it here, this example. When I went to Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, I took a guide because I wanted to have the whatever information possible, I wanted to gather it. So I took a guide, and right from the entrance, he started with a very beautiful note, which was so much important for me as a teacher. He said, this was the world's best university, and everybody was welcome here. Only you had to be eligible for it, just like a NEET exam for your MBBS seat, or a CET for your engineering seat in India. I don't know abroad what tests are given. There is an entrance exam. So similarly, to enter this university, there was an entrance exam which was taken by the doorkeeper in the entrance. So the doorkeeper himself was so intelligent, or you can say smart enough to select a student for the university. And what happened in the university is, it was it's not like it's a huge university, so you can just be there for your life and keep on learning stuff. No, only a 6 years course was given where you were taught all the vidyas. In India, I don't know any other country knows about it. So we all know that there are 64 vidyas. Kala, we call 64 kalas. Yeah. So there are so many vidyas. I'll be very quick in this. So in those 6 years, all the vidyas were taught. Here, being very intelligent enough, we are thinking we are so intellectual people and very intelligent. We are taking only one subject. Either I take science, I take maths, I take one subject, arts, and I learn about it. But in Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, one person or one student who got admitted all 64 vidyas. So if a person is being taught 64 different vidyas in 6 years, so they know the technique of teaching a student what should be taught first so that he understand the second one and the third one and fourth one. So from the dance to music to art of war and uh, cooking and dancing and astrology and construction, mathematics, chemistry, Ayurveda, all was included. And you know what? Like, no, it was like a shocking thing to know which was the first education given there. What was the first chapter, I can say? What color, which color, when learnt first, helps you in learning all others? So, masters, it was yoga, meditation. So meditation is the first thing a student has to be taught because that makes him capable of learning other subjects, whatever is taught to him. And here we are learning meditation at the end of our learning process or at the end of our lifetime. When you become old, when you don't have anything to do, and there you are going into, I want to do something now, and so let me learn meditation and sit. Because I am old, I will sit and meditate. But it is of no use. And that was such a big clarity for me. And I loved the masters for giving me this wisdom because I wanted to give this wisdom to everyone possible that please, whether you learn anything or not, learn to meditate. I can go on explaining how powerful a meditation is. And I'm going to give you my own experience. I'll not cite any other given experiences. I have experienced a lot and grown a lot and still growing. I am still a student. So I'm very happy I got opportunity to share my experience and whatever little wisdom I had gathered. So thank you very much